So this is going to be pretty cool. For the first time since February 20th, 2020. Man, that's a lot of 2s and 0s, eh? 2020-02-20. The Montreal Canadiens will be playing the Washington Capitals. Now, last time they played the Caps, they won 4-3 in OT. But this time we have ourselves a Montreal Canadiens squad that is, do I want to say weaker than that last team that played the Caps? I mean, that team that played Washington in 2020 of February was the worst team out of all the NHL teams to make the return to play bubble in the play-in series, and they ended up winning their play-in series, so I don't know if this team is better than it was back then, but either way, today is the first time we're playing Washington in that long. Ovi, I hope this guy goes out there and gets a whole bunch of goals. I think a lot of Canadiens fans are just kind of watching him and seeing the records try to be shattered in front of our eyes. But another player that I wanted to focus on here in today's video is Cole Caufield. Why? Well, because why not? We talk about this guy every turn of the way. So this time we're going over how exactly Caufield has been and just the entire update to him and his AHL tenure, because he did start out the year with Montreal, 12 games played, 1 point. We all kind of know how his season got off to, and we know as well that that start was, for lack of a better word, disappointing. And it wasn't disappointing just for us, it wasn't disappointing just for the Canadiens and what exactly it was they were looking for out of him, but it was disappointing for Caufield himself as well, because he understood that there was a boatload of expectation for this guy. He was, I think it was the guaranteed, like, #1 easiest betting odds on OddsShark. I think he had, like, the highest odds of winning, meaning that if you placed money on him, you would have won the least amount of money had he actually won the Calder, but now, a few weeks into the season, it's kind of not in that territory anymore at all. So, going over Cole Caufield, he did indeed play 10 games. He got himself 0 points. He rejoined the team for the Pittsburgh 6-0 loss. Okay, he got no points in a 6-0 loss. And then against the Nashville Predators, he scored himself 0 points in the 6-3 win. Averaging about 14 minutes of ice time in his return with the team, Cole Caufield is out there with 1 point, which was 1 assist against Detroit in a full 12 games played. Now, it's not great, but we still do have what Caufield did in the Laval Rocket and the AHL that we can also discuss too. Down there in the minors, he played 6 games, he had himself 5 total points, 2 goals, 3 assists, and the 2 goals he scored were very good, very powerful goals as well. One of them was a goal line snipe that found its way through to the goaltender and in. The other one was an on-the-rush, absolute laser beam wrister to tie the game up and send it to overtime. Cole Caufield had himself actually an interview that he did where he talked about his AHL stint and what exactly it was that the AHL stint did for him and his confidence. The article, or excuse me, not the article, but the link to the video is on TSN, so I will leave that in the description below. But going over onto NHLTradeRumors.me, this is the quote. I'm only going here because the quote is transcribed, so we can screenshot it and put it on the screen. It was all about just going down there, kind of refreshing my mind, getting my game back, and getting my confidence back. I feel as though it was really good for me to go down there and find myself as a player and relax and get out of the noise a little bit. Yeah, no kidding, the noise, eh? It felt like the first time again. I had a lot of energy those first couple of games, and I'm just going to look forward to keeping that going. For me personally, I like where my game's at right now. I just gotta keep trying to get better. And you know, that's kind of exactly what we were saying the entire time when Cole Caufield got sent down. A lot of people were quick to say, oh, this is good for his confidence, good for his development because he's only like 20 years old. So it's not like you're losing out on anything when you send the player who's only got 1 point in 10 games played to the AHL in a development role. And we had other people saying, okay, well, what's going on, dude? Like, we were supposed to see Caufield win the Calder, and he had all this hype around him. Now he's in the AHL, man, what a bust. And the latter of those people who say stuff like that probably just don't really understand what was going on with Montreal, because it wasn't just Caufield. It was everybody on this team that was really struggling, except for Jake Allen, I guess, but even still, the guy's got a negative record on the year, but that's not really his fault. So for Caufield to go down there in Laval and escape the noise, as he said, I love that he used that phrase because everybody kind of knows that Montreal is that place. Everybody in the media is super hardcore, and if you guys mess up, they'll very much give you a heck of a time for it. And they're really unrelenting with their questions and the gossip as well. My goodness, Montreal gossip is pretty voluptuous, I guess you could say. And it's kind of why this YouTube channel sort of thrives whenever we talk about Montreal stuff. But either way, Cole Caufield resetting his mind, resetting his frame of game, and having a good time in the AHL. Scoring points, scoring goals, doing all of the things that he needed to do, and getting called up and starting to find his groove now. Who knows if we will see him actually pull something off today against the Washington Capitals led by Alex Ovechkin. It's kind of funny because these two guys have been linked for quite some time now, ever since Cole Caufield tied Ovi's, his U18 goal record in the entire existence of that tournament a few years ago in 2019? Something like that. Back when he tied that record, everybody was like either on two sides. One side was, oh my goodness, look at this guy. He is so great. He has tied Ovi's goal record, and just the caliber of talent that he is alongside of in the history books. That's great. We will see this guy actually go out there and destroy worlds one day in the NHL, won't we? And even though that was a sentiment that a lot of people had, we had ourselves the other party that said, okay, well, he was just kind of carried by Jack Hughes. Like, Hughes is supposed to be the first overall pick, and here he is feeding passes to Caufield left, right, and center. Of course Caufield's gonna tie Ovechkin's goal record. That was a legendary record that stood for years, because Jack Hughes helped him out. There were always the doubters here and there, and Cole Caufield eventually showed off in the NHL playoffs last season that he was very legit and that he didn't need Jack Hughes to be a capable NHL scorer. He scored so many goals that were mostly just him doing him, chipping the puck out to the side on the rush against Vegas and walking in, shooting and scoring. Very, very beautiful goals like that. And those kind of goals, it's not like he's not skilled anymore. He can still pull those off. It's just confidence. It's the mindset. It's the mental envisioning for the game, because this kind of stuff whittles away when you go out there with 10 games and you have 0 points and you lose as often as the Habs had this year. So for Cole Caufield, we'll see if he goes out there and really does improve everything. I will leave a link in the description to everything that we saw here, the TSN video, as well as the NHL TradeRumors.me article. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about Cole Caufield and the way he plays the game? Did you notice anything specific about the Nashville game? I think everybody played a pretty solid game against Nashville the other night, and it's all because of that Coldplay song. I'm telling you, man, ever since that Coldplay song came back, it's only been one game, but what a game that was. Even though Caufield had himself 0 points in the Nashville game, and he actually was a -1, you still do want to see more out of this guy. And to be honest, I don't really know if that comes in a Calder-eligible season like we expected at the beginning of the season, because, like, yeah, now he's so far back. Lucas Raymond is at, like, 19 points or whatever it is in 19 games played. So Caufield has a ways away to go if he actually wants to catch up and win the Calder, or even just be in the conversation for the Calder, because, yeah, the difference from 1 to 19 points, that's a lot. Assume Lucas Raymond goes a point per game the rest of the year because he's at 19 and 19. Okay, Cole Caufield has to get 82 points in, 60-something games? That's a tall task, if I do say so myself. So let me know in the comments all your thoughts about Cole Caufield, everything that he has been through, Laval stint, the goals he scored over there, when we will start seeing him score in the NHL, and what exactly you think about this Washington game coming up. I'm looking forward to seeing Ovi maybe pot a hat trick, contribute to the cause of him going up there and breaking the Gretzky goal record. I think a lot of Canadiens fans would not be opposed to that outcome as well, because tank for Shane Wright, right? Let me know in the comments all your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.